Chris, so I wanted to tell you which M. Night Shyamalan movie is my favorite, but it's not happening. It's not happening. It's not happening. Hey, hey,
Uh,
hey.
yes.
How many M. Night Shyamalans does it take to change a light bulb?
How many?
2. One to change the bulb, and the other to give it an unexpected twist at the end.
We need a soundboard. We need.
We do. We need. That's our next investment. Patreons, support us so we can buy a sound effect board, please.
AP gives us a plot twist with the Watchers, and I go on an acid-fueled Ghibli trip with Scavengers Rein on this week's episode of Whatcha Watchin. Welcome to Whatcha Watchin, presented by Geeky a show where we dive into what's currently on our screens. Big screens or little screens, size matters not here, just the quality or lack thereof of our cues. Joining me today in the Go-Go is only Anthony again. Our bestest of bud is still out. Mr. Eric, love you. It's getting.
I mean, it's only it is, yeah, and it's only 11:30 at night where he is. There's no reason at all he shouldn't be on here, sleepy-eyed, talking about what he's watching on his flights to Taiwan. But whatever, it's okay, Eric. We won't hold it against you.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, what have you been up to this week?
So this week, big deal in the house, right? Here in New Jersey, or at least in our district, was back to school week, and pretty successful. I think the kids had a great week. Perfect first day for the both of them. So that's really fun. Also, welcome back to all the traffic jams, around 8 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Oh my God.
We love school buses. But yeah, I think that's the highlight of the week. Kids are back in school. They're having a good time. As much as good time you could have as a student who's starting to get more and more homework as you get older and older. So, but they're enjoying it, going seeing their friends every day and whatnot. This is the first year my son's riding the school bus, so he's having a blast.
Nice.
Although there was a hiccup on the first day. The guy showed up like after school started.
Oh, oops.
Yeah. So we made a panic decision to drive him over.
Yeah.
And right when we got there, they pulled in behind us.
What?
Yeah. So you think about that. The bus stop is actually kind of far away. It's like a good 5-minute walk, 4.5-minute walk or something like that. So already late.
Yep.
Then walked back home, got in the car, drove away, got to the school, and then the school bus showed up.
Wow.
So yeah, that's a little bit of hiccups with the busing situation, which kind of made him upset because he's like, oh, he's really excited about it. And then, he made a new school bus stop buddy from a neighboring family that's like on the other side over here. And
nice.
So yeah, and then just the bus decided, you know what, I'm going to be late the first 2 days, and then the bus driver changed.
Oh, okay, there you go. All right. And do they like their teachers?
They do. Good. They're happy about it. Yeah, I fingers crossed. They, like I said, they had a good first week, awesome. Good first impression of their teachers, their schools. Not new schools for either of them, so they're doing okay. Mm-hmm. But yeah, and then I'm going to end on a low light because I'm going to hand it over to you, and you should end with a highlight.
Okay, all right.
I'm going to end on a low light, and for me, I finished. I'm pretty sure it started off as Fan Home, mm-hmm. which is a subscription-based model kit building service. Mm-hmm. And I ordered the Iron Man.
Nice.
So it's Fan Home D'Agostini, for those that know. They offer, again, it's a subscription based. They mail a couple parts every month. Or in my case, it was 4 different sets of parts.
Okay. Yeah.
And looking back at it, I would never do it again.
Oh, really?
Yeah. It's
and why not?
the order of build
Yeah.
is ridiculous, right? And I and this is partly my fault. I let so much time elapse.
Yeah.
Like I would let the boxes pile up
Hmm.
before I get back to them because of this frustration. And I'm looking at the Iron Man right now, and it's pissing me off.
I can hear it in your voice, the
Yeah.
anger and upset of this process. We could probably do an entire
It's
episode on
oh yeah,
these subscription things, and in fact, I think I might take a big chunk of this and throw it into our after party. So,
that's fun.
if you're not subscribed to the Patreon, make sure you are subscribed to the Patreon so you can get access to our after party where Chris and I bemoan the the highs and lows of these subscription model kits. But when they're
Yeah.
done, they can be quite stunning, centerpieces to a collection for sure.
It definitely is. Like like I said, I'm looking at it. It is very nice. There's a couple things that are a little off, right? But because that's build quality and stuff like that,
Hmm.
right? There's alignment issues, like just that I can see.
Yeah.
But if standing from 3 feet away, it is 24 inches. I just confirmed
Okay.
that. Plus the pedestal, so that's like another 2 to 3 inches on the
That
bottom.
is
So you're looking at
huge.
this, over 2 feet tall, heavy metal
Yeah.
plasticky structure that also lights up. Also an annoying thing because like the batteries are very hard to get to in some of the pieces.
Mm.
But yeah, it is a stunning piece. But when you really really look at it and start like knowing what went into it,
Hmm.
I just not for me.
Gotcha. Well, sorry, dude. Sorry.
All good. What was your low light? Let's
So yeah,
continue the low light
let's
train.
stay on the low light train. So my low light was it's the anxiety that I've had all week because this starting tomorrow at 2 a.m. I am literally traveling. I'm going to be on 8 airplanes next week in 3 days. Tomorrow alone, I have a 6 a.m. flight leaving Newark to Washington, Washington to Savannah, Savannah to Chicago, Chicago to Little Rock. I'm in Savannah. Actually, I'm in Georgia for like 3 hours before I get on my next plane because I have to do a little side visit. But as I continue to do this, it's it's. I feel like travel like this is good when you're in your 20s, when you're single, when you have nothing at home to distract you from the work on the road in your 40s when you have two kids and a wife and side hustles and hobbies. It just makes it harder and harder. And so especially like when you get these like surprise work trips thrown onto your plate that where you have to like reshuffle everything. Like I wasn't supposed to go to Atlanta yesterday or tomorrow, but now I am. And it's just I think that's my low light is just the amount of travel that I'm doing this week. And it's like, there has to be a better way. How is it that in 2024 we have just not solved the problem of like holograms and like why can't I get a puck where I could just appear in someone's office as a hologram? Why can't we do that in 2024? Where is that technology? Elon Musk, get on that. Stop focusing on space flight. Focus on holograms. So that's my low light. But I'm going to eat the frog. It's going to be done, and I'll be back on Thursday. And I get to do it all over again the following week, but at least I'll be here for 4 days to mentally reset myself. Um, but my highlight is I did get some shop time in this week, so I got to work on some projects, which was nice. My bench is filling up. There's a lot going on for Comic-Con. I'm doing some props for Mr. Hannon, our friend James Hannon, who is the board game Sherpa and the author of a cosplay book. We're going to do some stuff at Comic-Con, so I'm working on those things. And so was able to chip away a little bit at that. And then also the first 2 days of school in our district as well this week, which was great. So the kids are out of the house, which they're not in new schools. They're in their same schools, but they've obviously gone up a grade. But it's nice to be back into the swing of things of the school year. So that's my highlight.
Wonderful, wonderful.
Yeah.
Hey, before we get into the show. I know you plugged it a little bit, but
Yeah.
you want to give it a nicer, bigger plug. Go
Thank
ahead.
you. I'm going to give this a nice big plug. So before we dive into our Whatcha Watchin rounds this week, head on over to patreon.com/geekyagogo and consider supporting the show. It does cost us money to put this production on, and we could use all the help we can get. So if you're strapped for cash, there is a free, yes, please, please, please. There's the tiers start, I think, at $1. I think it's $1, $3, and $5 or something like that. So consider, tossing us a few bucks, buy us a cup of coffee if you like our content that we're producing, but we do have to pay the bills and we could really use the help. If you are strapped for cash, though, there is a free tier, and that does give you access to our Discord server. So at least you can join us in our conversations between episodes, share with us what you're watching. So head on over to patreon.com/geekyagogo and consider helping us out. All right, Nitro, back to you.
Thank you, Anthony. I'll start off this week. So Chris, what you watching? I watched a show, and shout out to my coworker Gabe for putting me on this. He had an inkling that I would like it, and I did. I liked it a lot, actually. Um, the show is called Scavengers Rein. It started on Max, but I think they decided to cancel it. So it got ported over to Netflix. And there is signs of hope for a season 2 because apparently done extremely well on Netflix.
Nice.
Or at least up to Netflix's standards. There are a couple things going back and forth, but basically the show revolves around a damaged interstellar cargo ship. So this is an animated series.
Okay.
And they are stranded on an alien planet that's just has this, there's no human life, but there's just like tons of flora and fauna. And it very Ghibli-esque, where like things are like the creatures are utilitarian, right? So like they've evolved to like get to have these attributes of like, if say if one of them gets scared, like they just literally inflate and then like fly away.
Oh,
right. So the
what a great thing to be able to do.
Yeah, it's literally just going to turn into a ball, boop, and then like you're light enough for the wind to catch you, and you just go.
Awesome.
Or there's like a plant that has a little being inside of it, right? Another little animal is just like sleeping inside this plant. And then when it's time for it to germinate, like the thing opens up, the little creature wakes up and like pulls the seed out, and then like goes and like buries it, and then goes back into the plant, and then goes back to sleep. So it's like really acid trippy things.
Yeah.
Right. And that's what made me really love this. It is very trippy. I liked it a ton. And so like the apex quote unquote predator for this whole planet is a telepathic creature, right? It literally lives in the trees, and it like kind of takes over other creatures telepathically.
Okay.
And then like makes them forage for it, right? So it just literally just sits in a tree and it takes control of this other creature. And the other creature goes and like gathers food and stuff like that, and then brings it back to the creature. So it's like that's like the apex thing. It's like the most feared on the planet. And the although like all this flora fauna stuff is happening, the show is surrounding these survivors of the cargo ship disaster, basically. And it's 4 characters. I think it's 4 characters. Yes, it should be 4 characters and an android, so 5 characters.
Okay.
Not an android, but like a robot, like a mechanical thing that was up on the ship. And they're all separated. They all like landed in different parts of the planet or crashed into different parts of the planet. The ship is still in orbit, but they're trying to find a way to get the ship to land so they can leave. or at least two of the people are, and then they hop on the ship and things happen. And I don't want to ruin it for a lot of people
Sure.
because I highly recommend people going to watch this. Um, the I think the biggest voice actors of the show, or just actors in general, are Alia Shawkat,
Mm-hmm.
um, and she played
Maybe. Yep. Arrested Development,
okay,
right?
Arrested
Yep.
Development, and Sunita Mani. She's done quite a few things. She's in the Turn Down for What music video. um, but she's been other projects like say I forgot the name of the title. It's a alien movie with little like furry creatures.
Okay.
Um, and Bob Stevenson, who's been kind of like a background character in
Oh yeah.
many a
Yep.
thing. And it's just, they all do fantastic
Oh
jobs,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
They all do great voice stuff. There may be like I could have swore, and I didn't look into this. I should have looked at this. There could have been like other guest
Mm-hmm.
actors that had like maybe one or two
Oh sure.
lines.
Yeah.
Because I could have swore like I recognized the voice, and I never went back and looked at it.
Yeah.
Um,
There's quite a few. I'm just looking at the cast lists on. Let's see. It's Wunmi Mosaku. She was in Loki. She's a B-15. She's the one of the time police people.
mhm.
Let's see. A lot of these people look familiar. I just can't place them. Skylar
Yeah,
Gasondo. He looks super familiar. He must have. He looks like he was on The Crown. I don't know where he was from, but this looks really interesting. So, and did you say it's not a Ghibli production, right?
it is not a Ghibli
But
production.
it has like that anime type of feel to it with the animation.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Lots of little details and stuff like that happening on the sides and stuff like that. So it's that's what I said. The there was a very short. This it was birthed from this. There was a short done,
Mm,
an 8-minute short that was done for Adult Swim
okay.
back in 2016. Part of Toonami for
Oh,
people that
yep.
watched
Mm-hmm.
Cartoon Network back then.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, but I missed this. So it was a short. The short was actually really good. Actually went back and watched it. And it gives you the vibes of this show where like, okay, I understand what's happening here. There's no dialogue. There's like sounds and things like
Yeah.
that happening in the 8-minute block. But then you could see like, okay, I could see where this show came from this little animation short. Um, the I forgot where I was going. The Yeah, I mean, dude, like I really it's quick
Yeah.
episodes, 20-minute, 30-minute episodes,
Nice.
whatever. There's 12 of them only. Um I mean, like I said, my buddy Gabe hit a home run with
Nice.
this.
Okay.
Definitely recommend watching it.
Ooh.
I love the animation style. The animation house, where was it? It was produced over 2 years by Titmouse Inc.
Yeah.
and Green Street Pictures, um, and then animators from all over the world.
Yeah.
So this is why I think people I get that Ghibli vibe from
Yeah.
it.
Sure.
Um,
Yeah.
I don't know if that was their goal or not, but that's what happened.
And Titmouse, I've never heard of them until just now, but they've been involved with a lot. They did animation for Inside Out 2, the TV series Among Us, Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Christmas, um, Angry Birds, Mystery Island. I mean, they've been attached to a bunch of really interesting IPs. Oh, I'm
Mm-hmm.
okay. I'm going to check it out. So, how many disco balls will you bestow upon? What?
5 disco
What?
balls.
Whoa. Whoa. I think this is the second time we've ever maybe in 43
Yep.
episodes, and so let's say 30 episodes of Whatcha Watchin.
Yep.
Wow. 5.
Yep. I really like this.
Wow. Okay.
Anybody can plug whatever they want. If I had watched this prior to our canceled TV shows, I probably would have put this on the list. I mean, although, like I said, I'm hoping because it was acquired by Netflix and it did really well,
Wow.
I mean, I'm looking at IMDb, 8.7 out of 10.
Yeah.
What's you got? Tomato meter up.
Let's see. Tomato meter. I do not.
All right, tomatoes. Scavenger Rein.
100. 100 on the tomato meter. 96 on the popcorn meter. Okay. Wow. Fantastic.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna give it
I
a
mean,
watch. I'm gonna give it a watch.
so I got to break this down. Ape. It's so I'm clicking on the tomato meter
Yeah.
because you have to break this down. It's like, what did one critic watch
Yeah.
this? Top critics, 7 critics gave it
Yeah.
a fresh rating. 8.7 out of 10. And then all critics, 22 critics gave it a fresh rating.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, it is. 22 critics is obviously, it's not like the 400 critics or whatever, but 22 critics I think is a good.
It's a good
litmus
showing.
test of like,
yeah.
So yeah, like I said, it gives you those Ghibli vibes that a lot of people like get that emotion out of and stuff like that. I'm really hoping, and Rotten Tomatoes puts it says 2023 to present, right? Not 2023 to 2024. So I'm really, fingers crossed, Netflix, please do it right. Who's the CEO of Netflix? He's a Greek guy. I should know this. CEO Netflix. Reed Hastings. Nope, that's not. Well, he's the CEO, but I thought there was a Greek guy involved. Yes, Reed, Mr. Hastings, because Anthony hates first name usage.
Or just the full name, Reed Hastings.
You need to renew this. This is a fantastic show. Please, 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 renew Scavengers Rein.
In an open letter to Netflix CEO Reed Hastings, Nitro Chris is pleading for the renewal. Well, I'm looking forward to diving into this. I am going to load up my iPad and watch it on the plane this week. How many episodes you said? 12? 8?
12.
Okay. All right. We'll check it out. Nice, man. 5. Wow.
Yeah.
All right.
Anthony.
All right.
What you watching?
So to make up for crap, I decided to give M. Night's daughter, Ishana Night Shyamalan, a chance. And so Max is currently streaming The Watchers, which came out earlier in 2024. It stars Dakota Fanning, Olwen Fuere, who is like in every movie, it seems like this year, Georgina Campbell. And pretty much this woman, it takes place in Ireland. And this woman is working for Dakota Fanning. She works for a pet store, I believe, and she is sent on assignment to go deliver a parakeet. Not a parakeet, but it's like bigger than a parakeet, but it does still talk. Anyway, deliver this parakeet to the middle of nowhere. It's like a day away drive from Galway, which is where this movie starts. Anyway, she finds herself traveling through the woods. Car breaks down. She decides to take the bird and walk because she feels like she's not too far from it. This is all in the trailer, by the way. I'm not spoiling anything. She sees this sign that says point of no return, number 89 or something like that. And she, of course, ignores it because what do we do when we see a sign in the woods that says point of no return? We just walk through it. Anyway, she starts walking by and then immediately gets lost in the woods. She is greeted. So she starts getting chased by something and she starts running and is greeted by Olwen Fuere in the role of Madeline, who rescues her and takes her into this big box. And she immediately tells her, "We just stand here." And again, this is all in the trailer. So this group of 4 people are now just standing in the middle of this room looking at this mirror, and come to find out it's a one-way mirror where people outside can look in. You can't see out. You just see a reflection. And there are these beings, these very creepy sounding beings that are now watching and applauding. There's this new person, and you just have to stay there and stand while they watch you. That's the premise in a nutshell. There's a lot more complication to it, but what I will say is, um, this definitely made up for Trap. The twist ending, there was no necessarily big twist ending, so I'm glad that she is not trying to take the mantle from her father to be a twister. It was a fun horror movie. There's no gratuitous violence or anything like that. It's a horror movie built on mythology, which I appreciate. It's built on being like a creature feature. So you get to not only experience these creatures from the periphery by like hearing them and sensing them, but then you eventually get to see them, and it's just super creepy. Um, I was very pleasantly surprised with it. I think I've said this before, there's few movies where my ADD doesn't kick in and I have to grab my phone or my laptop or just find something and turn it into background noise. I sat and I watched this movie in its entirety without interruption. And it was a treat to watch. If you like, if you like horror thrillers that are steeped in mythology, that keep you, I wouldn't say guessing, but like borderline edge of your seat, then this was a good one. And the ending was pretty decent as well. Like I said, it wasn't twisty or anything like that. It was a good wrap up, and it kind of opened the door. I wouldn't say necessarily for a sequel, but I could see this being a world building, the ground zero for a world building type of series, where they could do a film set in this version of reality, um, that tells similar stories or uses different characters or even goes back because, like I said, it's a mythological piece, and so you have a whole history that they touch on but you don't necessarily see, and it could be an interesting kind of move into fantasy, um, with this. So anyway, I feel like I'm gushing about it. This movie does not deserve gushing, but it is a really fun movie. I'm not going to give it a 5 disco ball. I will give it a 4 disco ball. Because yes, it was a lot of fun to watch. I love movies that have a mythological component to it. I haven't seen Dakota Fanning since probably War of the Worlds or hide and seek or something like that. Like it's been a long time. So it was nice to, I know that she's been doing stuff. I just can't remember seeing her in anything recent. So it was nice to see Dakota Fanning all grown up and doing stuff. The casting was a lot of fun and the storytelling was fun. Yeah. Have you seen it?
Wow.
Yeah.
I have not.
Yeah.
I think you beat up on M. Night so much. You owe it to his. This is you're paying him back. Wow, 4.
4. Yes. M. Night.
Wow.
Yes, I don't apologize for beating up your last movie, but your daughter is on to really great things. And I believe she wrote it as well. Um, and it's based on a novel. Okay, so it's not an original idea, but it's based on a novel. I actually might read the book. It's a book by A.M. Shine. I don't know this person. Um, Ashana Shyamalan wrote it for the screen and directed it. Obviously, it was produced by M. Night Shyamalan. That's not a shocker, but yeah. And now here's where I start questioning my efficacy as a reviewer of films and television. Rotten Tomatoes, 32% tomato meter score. 10 people gave it fresh, 29 people gave it rotten. It has a 4.9 out of 10. And then the popcorn meter, which is the verified audience, out of 250 plus verified ratings, have a 52%. So it was not liked. And so the critics' consensus, heavy on eerie mood, but undone by an obtuse script. I disagree with that. The watchers can only hold the gaze for so long before tedium sets in. Yeah, I disagree with that statement. I was entertained by it. I don't think the script was god awful. or obtuse. Yeah. Um, and then Box Office Mojo. So this did come out domestically on June 7th. So not long ago. Opening was at $7 million. Didn't go far. Its worldwide gross was 32 million. So I don't see how many weeks it was in theaters, but yeah, so it didn't do well at the box office. It was not appreciated by apparently audiences and critics, but I hope to see more. I hope to see more from Ashana Shyamalan. I hope she continues to stay away from trying to replicate her father's work by twisting and turning, and I'm curious to see where she goes next.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very, very nice of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I had to make up, especially the thumbnail that I put on YouTube of the last episode. I kind of felt bad about that one. Sorry, not sorry. Sorry, not sorry.
Yeah.
So, Chris, what? Oh, yeah.
I mean, as you're describing it, I'm like, this is definitely something, Anthony, because it seems like it's very cerebral. It gets in your head, kind of thing. It gives you that. It causes an emotion, right? Like that is what a really good horror film does, right? It causes that emotion. So, yeah. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
maybe I will watch it.
Give
I don't
it a
know.
watch. Give it a watch when the kids are in bed. Grab Cat. Give it a watch. It's on.
No, that's
Oh,
not
it's not
happening.
happening. She's not into that.
Cat is
Okay.
not as scary. She won't do. We were talking about this yesterday. She wouldn't do a Stranger Things escape room.
Really?
Okay,
Wow.
forget about watching the show.
Okay.
She wouldn't do the escape room. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, because it's one of those movies where you're trapped in essence, and there's no escape. And each of the characters in this room have been there for various periods of time. There was a little bit of a twist at the end, a little bit of a twist, but you can kind of plot it out. It's not like a I see dead people thing, but you can kind of plot out where it is going at a certain point. But each of these characters does have their kind of own history that they come into it with, and the movies that where you're trapped and you can't go anywhere, um, are ones that I really like. Like I think were we talking about this the other day? Open Water, where they're on the boat and they're just stuck in the middle of the ocean. They can't go anywhere. Like those movies, give you like this visceral anxiety. It's like, oh my god, I can't leave. I think we all, kind of feel like that when we feel trapped or cornered. And this movie, it doesn't 100% get you there, but it starts to get you there. And I think they could have played a little bit more with the anxiety of, I cannot leave this place. Otherwise, I will be torn apart by whatever this creature is or these creatures are. They could have played more with that to boost up the anxiety. But again, 4 disco balls, really had a fun time with it. I'm looking forward to what's next for Miss Ashana Night Shyamalan.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Round 2, man. What's next on your list?
Round 2. Something a little bit nostalgic. Actually very nostalgic. This is all it really appeals to. I watched again, this is a while ago. We just were catching up on our list because there's so much like cool new stuff, and we're like, hey, we need to talk about the present things. But I did see Beverly Hills Cop : Axel F. I don't know why they chose this title. I mean, maybe they didn't want to name it Beverly Hills Cop 4. I don't like but premiered on Netflix back in July. And I got around to watching it around that time. And you know what? If you don't know the Beverly Hills Cop franchise, just turn this off. Like, go skip to the next thing that Anthony's going to talk about. But I'm not going to dive into it. It is, further into the future. In the timeline of Beverly Hills Cop, everyone is a little bit more aged. They make a lot of jokes about this. Very in the vein of another cop series, Lethal Weapon. with the famous quote of "I'm getting told too old for this S word." The again, a lot of jokes about that. A lot of returning characters. All right, Eddie Murphy obviously is in it. Judge Reinhold's in it as Billy Rosewood. John Ashton has been promoted to chief. John Taggart. So yeah, Paul Reiser is in it as well. Bronson Pinchot
no
as
kidding.
Serge. Okay,
that's fantastic.
right. So, and that's why I said it's a trip down nostalgia lane, right? So that's it evokes that the fun, the action, the comedy of the original series Beverly Hills Cop. It did great. I think it did. It hit that nerve. We're talking about a shoot 'em up, action, police, comedy, thriller kind of situation. Axel's daughter ends up in a precarious situation. She I think she's a lawyer in the movie, and she wants nothing to do with her dad.
Okay.
So like stuff like that. So a little bit of family dramas, entwined in the whole thing, and I liked it. Right, just to get down to brass tacks, I liked it. They did good, for the series. And should they make another one? Probably not.
Yeah. Was there any torch passing?
Up there in age. Yes.
Ish. Okay. Ish. Okay. Got it.
Right. So yeah, there are younger people involved.
Gotcha.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt's in it.
Oh, no kidding. Okay. Yeah.
Who is like dating or dated Axel's daughter.
Okay.
He's also a cop,
okay,
which is why the relationship didn't work out.
Got it.
Right. His daughter just is like, I'm done with cops, because there's a falling out between the two of them. And yeah, like I said, I think they did good. Kevin Bacon's in it.
Oh, well.
So yeah, tons of people worth watching.
Nice. And Eddie Murphy, he's not been. I mean, I'm looking at his IMDb page. So obviously, Coming to America 2 came out in 21. He's done a couple of films in between that and Beverly Hills Cop, but I couldn't even tell you what these movies were about. So it's nice to see that he's I don't know if this is a comeback for him or if he's just kind of riding the coattails of his previous IPs and just for a paycheck, but it's nice to see he was such a revered comedian and actor, so it's nice to see him back at it. I'm curious though, he's now done 2 reboots, I guess you could call them reboots. Are we going to see a Golden Child sequel anytime soon? I wonder if
I would watch that.
That was a fun movie. Oh, fun fact, because we were talking about like my weird celebrity connections when I was at your house the other day. I have a friend, she used to be a coworker, now a friend, who is best friends with the Golden Child, the kid who played the Golden Child.
No
yes,
way.
Yeah, and I think she's the girl who played the Golden Child. I think she's a lawyer now or something like that. But yeah, they were like best friends. They're still best friends. Yeah. So she just did that cool. One thing, but it happened to be, the titular character of an Eddie Murphy film. So yeah, pretty strange. I have weird connections.
Cool connections.
Yes, cool connections.
I mean, yeah, like I'm looking at his filmography too. He's tons of sequels. The Shrek series. There's another Shrek coming out 2026. Shrek 5.
Oh my god!
So I'm sure he's making tons of money playing Donkey.
Yeah. The Pink Panther.
Like you said,
Inspector Clouseau. What?
Was he in there?
No, it's upcoming.
Oh, I don't see that here.
Okay. Oh, interesting. There's no date. It just says pre-production. Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Listen, man.
Yep.
He's made his money.
Yeah. Have at it.
He does a certain character very well, or several characters, as we saw in Coming to America.
So good.
Yeah, I think it's great. Disco balls, I'll cut right to it because I mean, this is what else can we talk
Yeah.
about? This is a nostalgia riding train.
Yeah.
Disco balls, I'm gonna give it 3.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
Because again, it's not anything original. It's
Sure.
not like, you know, award-winning talent or whatever. This and anything. I mean, yes, they are award-winning actors, but you can tell this is like, give me some money kind of situation. But I liked it.
Yeah.
I loved all the original movies, so this was good.
That's awesome.
3, if you have not seen the series, right? Shame on you. Most importantly, but if you have not seen the series, you would probably give it a 2 disco balls.
Oh, okay. So you
Yeah.
need some of the background to truly appreciate it.
Yes.
Wasn't George Lucas? Didn't he have a cameo in one of them?
It was a theme park one. That was part 3, wasn't
I think
it?
it was. Yeah.
Wally World.
Yes.
So yeah.
Nice, man. Okay. 3 disco balls.
3 disco balls. And right back to you.
Right.
What you watching?
Well, I finished this last night. It's a very easy watch. It's streaming on Netflix. It's called Tires. And it's a series. There's only one season of it. I believe it was like 6 or 7 episodes. It wasn't a lot of episodes. It takes place somewhere in like Western Pennsylvania at a automotive store, like a Mavis discount tire or something like that, or a Jiffy Lube. And it just follows these characters and their day to day at the store, and they're trying to drive sales and save the store from closing. I mean, that's pretty much the plot line in a nutshell. It stars Shane Gillis. He's the only person that I know in this. Everybody else is just kind of a no name. But Shane Gillis, for those of you who don't know, he is a stand-up comedian. He's a podcaster. He is very funny in a very kind of blue collar sort of way. I very much appreciate his sense of humor. My little brother actually turned me on to him a few years ago, and I stumbled upon it on Netflix. It is a mindless watch. It's not like you're going to be on the edge of your seat. I liken it to like the late night sitcoms of like the late 80s, early 90s, just kind of like this silly reality I can't even liken anything to it. Nothing is coming to mind, but there's a comfort to it that I like watching. But it's definitely like a mindless show, and I really enjoyed it. I was sorry that it was so short-lived. It was only 6 episodes. I don't know where it was originally. But Netflix picked it up, and it does sound like Netflix has renewed it, picked it up for a second season, which is great. So we'll get to see more of these folks. But if you're looking for a mindless, sometimes laugh out loud show, give this one a shot. Tires on Netflix. Because it's not like advancing the genre of sitcom television. I'm only going to give it like I'll give it 3 disco balls. I'll give it 3.5. Yeah.
Okay.
It was, again, it's mindless. You're not going to go into it to get smarter or take something away from it that's going to change your life. This is a good end of the day. Everyone's asleep. I need something to watch to turn off my brain. Instead of watching South Park, I'll watch Tires. There's grown-up humor to it, grown-up language to it, so I wouldn't watch it with the kids for sure. But yeah, definitely give it a watch if you need something mindless in your queue.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I was looking at the cast. I didn't see anybody that I really recognized, and Shane Gillis is kind of niche too.
Oh, definitely, yeah. And I think he's done more for himself in the podcast world than he has in anything. But I've seen some of his stand-up, and he's pretty. Yeah, he's niche. Like I say, he's a very blue collar type of humor. Borderline sophomoric, but still fun to watch. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. All right. I'll take us right
All
out.
Right.
Do you want more Geeky A Go-Go? Make sure you're following us on all the socials at Geeky A Go-Go and share with us what you're watching. Want cool stuff? Want to connect with us on a higher level, like on our Discord channel? head on over to patreon.com/geekyagogo and support the show. You'll get awesome swag for free and other perks. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're following the show on your favorite podcast platform. Start that over. If you haven't done so already, make sure you're following the show on your favorite podcast platform and leave us a review. Thanks so much for listening. Peace out, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye. Geeky a go-go. Geeky a go-go.
Geeky Go-Go out.
Yeah, there it is.